50,000 fans. Just one pitch separates this young pitcher from baseball immortality. But what happened next left all of Japan speechless.
Sometimes, baseball is Ichiro Ohtani just about winning and losing, Sometimes, a single game changes history forever. That night, inside Apex Stadium in Japan, more than 5 man fans Saturday eagerly in their seats. No one had any idea, that they were Ichiro Ohtani just there to watch a baseball game, They were about to witness a night, that would be remembered with honor in the history of Japanese baseball for generations to come. A young pitcher stood alone on the mound. There was no smile on his face, Only a deep breath, and one clear goal. Tonight, not a single batter will reach base. But standing across from him, was one of the most dangerous batting lineups in the league. One small mistake, one misplaced pitch, and his dream could have fallen apart in an instant. But what happened over the next 3 hours, Did Ichiro Ohtani just leave the stadium speechless, It silenced all of Japan. So what exactly happened that unforgettable night? Today, which Ichiro are going to tell the incredible story of one of the greatest perfect games in Japanese baseball history. 野球日本の旗. It was nighttime. The stadium lights stretched high into the sky, illuminating every corner of the field. Every single seat was filled. Fans waved their team's flags proudly, and one chant echoed throughout the stadium. Nippon. 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 But in the middle of all that noise, there was one man standing in complete silence. He was tonight's starting pitcher. He slowly lowered the brim of his cap, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. Before the game, his coach had said just one sentence. Tonight, don't pitch with fear. Pitch with courage. Those words kept echoing in his mind. Baseball first inning. The umpire raised his right hand. Play ball. In an instant, the entire stadium fell silent. The first batter stepped up to the plate, one of the league's most feared hitters. His batting average alone was enough to make pitchers nervous. The pitcher looked toward his catcher. He got the signal. Fastball. Whoosh. Strike one. The crowd erupted with cheers. The second pitch. A sharp slider. The batter swung, but hit nothing but air. Strike two. Now, all the pressure was on the batter. The third pitch. The entire stadium held its breath. The pitcher delivered the ball. The batter swung with everything he had. Swish. He missed. Strike three. The first out. The stadium exploded with applause. The second batter stepped in. This time, a seasoned veteran. He attacked the very first pitch. Crack. The ball soared high into the air. The left fielder raced back and made an easy catch. 2 outs. Now came the third batter. The crowd felt the inning was almost over. But this hitter was dangerous. He had blasted 4 home runs in his last 5 games. The pitcher wiped the sweat from his face. Fastball. Curveball. The count moved to 2-2. Now, one pitch could change everything. The pitcher delivered. The batter swung. A hard ground ball. The shortstop made a spectacular diving stop. The ball landed safely in his glove. He fired it to first base. Out. 3 up, 3 down. A perfect start. But no one had noticed something remarkable. After the first inning, not a single batter had reached base. Baseball's second inning. Inside the dugout, the head coach quietly stared at the scoreboard. The pitcher was beginning to build confidence. Every pitch landed exactly where the catcher wanted it.
Today is day 9.
The first batter.
How much effort is required to continue competing?
The second batter.
Today, we will look at the routines of top athletes.
The third batter.
Please watch until the end.
Ball. Once again, 3 up, 3 down. Now, a few fans in the crowd looked at each other and smiled. Someone quietly whispered, "Could something special be happening tonight?" But in baseball, the most dangerous thing you can do is celebrate too early, because one single pitch can change everything. And now, the third inning was about to begin. The pitcher himself had no idea that he was slowly moving closer to history, closer than he had ever dreamed possible. Baseball Japan. So far, Everything had been absolutely perfect. The scoreboard showed 3 numbers that captured everyone's attention: 0 hits, 0 walks, 0 errors. But in baseball, a perfect start doesn't guarantee a perfect ending. The next batter stepped up to the plate. He was the team's most dangerous power hitter. If he connected with just one pitch, the entire stadium could fall silent. The pitcher tightened his grip on the glove. First pitch, 97 miles per hour fastball. Strike 1. Second pitch, a sharp splitter. The batter swung, but the ball slipped right beneath his bat. Strike 2. Now, the entire stadium was on its feet. Every eye was locked on a single pitch. The pitcher delivered. The batter swung. Crack. The ball rocketed straight toward center field. For one brief moment, everyone thought, "That's a hit." The center fielder sprinted at full speed. Near the warning track, he leaped into the air and caught it. The stadium erupted with thunderous applause. The pitcher lowered his head with a quiet smile, but there was still no celebration on his face. He knew the real challenge had only just begun. Baseball fourth inning. A strange silence had settled over the stadium. Even the commentators had lowered their voices. Why? Because in baseball, there's an old tradition. When a pitcher is close to throwing a perfect game, people don't even dare say it out loud. They fear they might jinx it. Even his teammates in the dugout began sitting farther away from him. No one spoke to him. It was an old baseball superstition. The pitcher quietly took a sip of water, then calmly walked back to the mound. The first batter, ground out. The second batter, strike out. The third batter, fly out. Now, 12 batters had come to the plate, and all 12 had been retired. Baseball fifth inning. Now the pressure wasn't only on the hitters. It was on the pitcher as well. With every inning, his name moved one step closer to history. The manager glanced toward the bullpen. The relief pitchers were warming up, but he simply raised his hand and signaled, "No, this is his game." The crowd noticed the gesture. Once again, the stadium burst into applause. The first batter, a weak ground ball, out. The second batter, a high fly ball, out. The third batter, 3 pitches, 3 strikes, strikeout. Now the scoreboard read, 15 up, 15 down, just 12 more outs. And history could be made. Baseball's sixth inning. Now the television cameras kept zooming in on the pitcher's face. His cap was soaked with sweat, yet there was a quiet confidence in his eyes. The first pitch, strike. The second, strike. The third, swing and a miss. Another strikeout. The crowd cheered even louder after every out. By now, everyone in the stadium realized they weren't watching an ordinary baseball game. They were witnessing a moment that might not happen again for many years. And then, as the seventh inning began, the atmosphere inside the stadium completely changed. Every fan sat on the edge of their seat. No one even wanted to blink, because they were now only 9 outs away from a record that every pitcher dreams of achieving at least once in a lifetime. Baseball. By now, the atmosphere inside the stadium had completely changed. The fans who had been laughing and cheering earlier were now sitting in complete silence. Every pair of eyes was locked on one man, the pitcher. He looked up at the scoreboard. 18 batters, 18 outs. Now, only 9 outs remained. History was just a few steps away. But baseball never shows mercy. The next batter stepped up. He was the kind of hitter who became even more dangerous under pressure. He watched the first pitch. Strike. The second pitch. Ball. The count. 1-1. The entire stadium held its breath. The third pitch. A blazing fastball. The batter swung with all his strength. Crack. The ball shot like lightning down the third base line. For a split second, everyone thought the perfect game was over. Without hesitation, the third baseman launched himself into a full dive. His body slid across the dirt. His glove was barely an inch away from the ball. And then, thump! The ball landed perfectly inside his glove. The stadium exploded with deafening cheers. But the play wasn't over yet. The third baseman jumped to his feet and fired a bullet throw across the diamond. The ball ripped through the air, straight into the first baseman's glove.
Out.
The stadium erupted into thunderous applause. The pitcher simply took a deep breath. No smile. No celebration. He knew there were still 2 innings left. Baseball 8th inning. Even the television commentators had changed their tone. Every word was spoken more slowly. This is no longer just a baseball game. This could become history. Inside the dugout, his teammates sat in complete silence. Following baseball's oldest superstition, no one dared speak to the pitcher. No one wanted to break his concentration. The first batter. 3 pitches. Strikeout. The crowd jumped to its feet. The second batter. A high fly ball. The right fielder settled underneath it. Glove up.
Catch. Now.
Just 1 more out in the inning. The third batter stepped in. The count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher looked toward his catcher. He got the signal. Splitter. The ball dropped sharply. The batter swung. And missed. Strike 3. Now the scoreboard read, 24 up, 24 down. Nobody inside the stadium could believe what they were witnessing.
Now.
3 outs remained. Just 3. For a perfect game. Baseball 9th inning. Every single fan was now standing. No one could bring themselves to sit down. The television cameras scanned the crowd. Some faces were filled with tears. Others whispered silent prayers. The pitcher slowly walked back toward the mound. His heart was racing, but his face remained as calm as ever. The first batter. A ground ball. Shortstop. Throw to first.
Out.
2 outs to go. The second batter. A full count. 3-2. The stadium fell into complete silence. The pitcher delivered. The batter swung. A fly ball. The center fielder charged forward. He opened his glove. Caught it. Now. Only 1 out remained. 1 out. From history forever. The final batter stepped into the batter's box. He gripped the bat tightly. The pitcher rolled the baseball slowly in his hand. The catcher gave the sign. The pitcher took 1 deep breath. The entire stadium was completely silent. It felt as if time itself had stopped. He threw the most important pitch of his life. The baseball sliced through the air toward home plate. The batter swung with everything he had. Crack! Baseball